Booms and air raid alarms and sirens sounded across Israel early Sunday after Iran launched over hundreds of drones, ballistic missiles, and cruise missiles in an unprecedented revenge mission as Tehran's response to Israeli aggression on Iranian embassy in Syria, killing 3 Iranian generals. The attack marked the first time Iran launched a direct military strike on Israel despite decades of animosity. There was prompt condemnation from the United Nations and others allies, with France saying Iran is risking a potential military escalation, Britain, the attack, reckless, and Germany, Iran and its proxies must stop it immediately. The Israeli spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, said Iran fired scores of drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles with the vast majority intercepted outside Israel's borders. He said warplanes intercepted over 10 cruise missiles alone, also outside Israeli airspace. He said some of the missiles landed and explode in Israel. Rescuers said one strike critically wounded a 10-year-old girl in a Bedouin Arab town in southern Israel, while Hagari said another missile struck an army base, causing some damage but no casualty. A wide-scale assault by Tehran is escalation, Hagari said. Asked whether Israel would respond, Hagari said, "The army does and will do whatever is required to protect the security of the state of Israel." Air raid sirens were reported all around over numerous places, including northern Israel, southern Israel, the northern West Bank, and the Dead Sea near the Jordanian border. U.S. Air Forces downed dozens of the Iran-launched drones flying toward Israel, according to a U.S. defense official. Iran had vowed revenge since an April airstrike in Syria killed 2 Iranian generals inside an Iranian consular building. In a statement carried late Saturday by Iran's state-run IRNA news agency, the country's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard acknowledged launching dozens of drones and missiles towards the occupied territories and positions of the Zionist regime. In a later statement, the Revolutionary Guard issued a direct warning to the U.S. The terrorist U.S. government is warned any support or participation in harming Iran's interests will be followed by decisive and regretting response by Iran's armed forces. IRNA also quoted ballistic missiles were part of the strike. A ballistic missile moves on an arch trajectory, heading up into space before gravity brings the weapon down at a speed several times faster than the speed of sound, and interception is more difficult. The state of Israel has a multi-layered air defense network that includes a variety of systems capable of intercepting a number of threats, including long-range missiles, cruise missiles, drones, and short-range rockets. However, in a massive attack involving huge number of drones and missiles, the likelihood of a strike making it through is much higher, and the effectivity of the system is likely to be low against the scale of attack. Before we proceed with the news and facts, please like and subscribe the channel to continue to receive such informative videos. Thank you. Tehran has a vast and wide arsenal of drones and missiles. Iranian state television showed Delta Wing-style drones resembling the Iranian Shahd 136s long used by Russia in its war on Ukraine. The slow-flying drones carrying bombs. Ukraine has successfully used both surface-to-air missiles and ground fire to target them. Iranian waved a Palestinian flag during their anti-Israeli rallies at the Palestine Square in Tehran. Iran launched its first ever direct military attack against Israel. The Israeli military said Iran fired more than 200 bomb-carrying drones toward Israel. Tehran declared it had launched much more destructive ballistic missiles too. Israel's military issued public orders in the Golan Heights near the Syrian and Lebanese borders, as well as the southern towns of Nevatim and Dimona, and the Red Sea resort of Eilat, to stay near shielding spaces until further notice. Dimona is home to Israel's major nuclear project, and Nevatim has a main Air Force base and aviation complex. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said, "Whoever harms us, we will harm them." President Biden held a meeting of the National Security Council to discuss the situation. President said that his commitment to Israel's security is ironclad, a change from the harsh criticism voiced till today. General Eric Kurilla, the head of the Central Command, was in Israel over the weekend consulting with Israeli defense officials. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations issued a statement to both Israel and the U.S. Should the Israeli regime make another mistake, Iran's response will be considerably more severe. He wrote online, "It is a conflict between Iran and the rogue Israeli regime, from which the U.S. must stay away." Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei had threatened to slap Israel for its Syria strike. The Lebanese militant group Hezbollah said it launched dozens of Katyusha rockets at an Israeli military site in the Golan Heights early Sunday. It was not immediately clear if there were any casualties. Iranian missiles or drones heading towards Israel were seen intercepted in the sky above the Jordanian capital, Amman, in Lebanon's capital, Beirut, and elsewhere in the country. Missiles were seen in the sky and explosions heard. In Syria, explosions were heard in the capital, Damascus, and elsewhere. Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported that Syrian air defenses attempted to shoot down Israeli efforts to intercept Iranian missiles.